By California Avenue, of course, we do have a an accident on over around Provo. Again, not on the major interstate, so it's smooth sailing as we look at drive times between Salt Lake City and Ogden. Right there, around 30 minutes for us on this Friday morning. Over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Caesar. Now to our extreme drought. We're seeing some of the worst drought conditions in recent history, and today the governor is expected to talk how that drought is impacting our farmers. ABC4's Jared Jotneni is live from the Capitol with more. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Yeah, later this morning, the governor and lieutenant governor will be meeting with folks to educate everyone about the impacts right now the drought is having on our crop yield. Right now, 26 of the state's 42 largest reservoirs are at 55% capacity, and 80% of all water in Utah goes towards agriculture. Right now, current drought conditions impacting farmers and ranchers, farmers being advised to water crops less, ranchers worrying about how they'll care for their cattle and other livestock.
The biggest fear is that we're not going to be able to have the resources to take care of our animals and take care of our farming operations. Bottom line.
Due to the ongoing drought, back in March, the governor issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency, allowing counties and cities to begin the process of issuing water restriction plans while encouraging everyone to reduce indoor water use. Now, again, the governor and lieutenant governor will be meeting in Layton at the Roberts Family Farms around 10 a.m. Live, Jared Jotneni, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. Time now 6:33. Governor Cox also plans to address our recent rise in COVID cases. With school starting next month, the governor is encouraging Utah teens 12 to 18 to get their vaccines now. According to state law, Utah can't require students to wear masks, and health experts are concerned about students spreading COVID among themselves, then bringing it back home.
Today, more than 241 people in the hospital with COVID. 1 month ago, there were 161 people in the hospital with COVID.
So it gives you a sense of the area of concern. The governor also extending the invite to get the vaccine to all Utahns who still have not got the shot.
Cyclists are gearing up for a weekend of races across Salt Lake, and you're invited to watch the action. It's going to be cool. The Salt Lake Criterium Bike Race is back, showcasing world-class riders. The two-day event takes place this Saturday and Sunday, and this morning we get a little bit of a preview. Joining me to talk about the race, Eric Gardner, race director for Salt Lake Criterium, and Maggie Coles-Lister, a professional cyclist right here in Salt Lake. I'm so excited to chat with both of you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Can we talk about first, can we start with like the basics of the Criterium race? How is it different than other races? What's cool about the race here in Salt Lake?
So typically Criterium racing, it's a shorter circuit,
okay,
and it's a timed amount, and then they do laps towards the end. So rather than going from point A to point B like the Tour de France, it's a typically a 1 kilometer circuit, and they just go around it for an hour.
That seems ideal if you're wanting to go watch a race, because you get to see a lot more cycling.
Yeah, you get to see us every lap, every minute basically,
yeah,
for an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this race in terms of, Maggie, this is obviously not news to you. Cycling is pretty dangerous. I think when a lot of us think of cycling, we think of like those crashes that happened even recently on the Tour de France. How does this kind of rank for you in terms of danger?
I mean, every race you do is dangerous. I mean, cycling in itself could arguably be an extreme sport.
Definitely. I don't think you'd have much argument there.
No, I've had my fair share of crashes, and it happens, but you can't really think about that going into a race because in most cases, it's inevitable. So you just have to go in and race, and if a crash happens, then
it happens. You pick yourself up.
Yeah.
So I understand this is a team race. How does that work? Is it like a relay, or is it more of kind of a combined effort?
Yeah, so lots of people think of cycling as more of an independent sport, but we're all on teams. Everyone plays a role in the race, so the person who wins, everybody on the team goes into making that win happen. So everyone has a role, they execute it, and perfectly executed race will come away with a win at the end.
Can you talk to me about your role? What's your role in those team races?
So I'm the sprinter, so I'll typically be the one sprinting for the win at the end. I mean, it can vary, but yeah, so everyone will help make that happen.
Awesome. How long have you been racing, Maggie?
I've been racing since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a cool sport to get into. How do you like get into bike racing?
So my dad actually owned a bike store and had a team, so I was kind of born into the sport.
Yeah.
And my
family
parents
business.
actually, they used to bring, so I'm from Vancouver, BC, but they used to bring bike tours down to Utah.
Awesome.
when I was a child. So yeah.
So you've been here for a while, and now you're based in Utah. You've been here since May, you said.
Yes, I've been here since May,
Cool.
so I've been based here, and this is where my team, DNA Pro Cycling, is based. So I've been here training with them.
Awesome. Eric, can we go over like the basics of the race this Saturday? I understand it's at the Gateway. How do people get tickets? This is such a cool thing to
Yeah,
go
so
to.
it's at the Gateway all day. We have amateur fields in the morning, and then the pros will start at about 5:30 p.m. It's a free event. We do have a festival, a beer garden, food, things like that at the Gateway. So anyone can come and watch. It's a lot of fun to watch. And then on Sunday, we have a second one in Holiday City. Same amateur fields, same pro fields. Over 160 pros are in town for it.
Awesome.
And those will be going off at 3 p.m. in Holiday.
Eric and Maggie, it was so cool meeting you. Good luck this weekend to you and to your team. Stay safe. I hope you do. We'll have all of this information to make sure you can be there on our website at abc4.com/GMU. Eric, Maggie, have a great one.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right, good luck. Time now 6:38. Coming up here on GMU, country star Garth Brooks coming to Rice-Eccles Stadium. See the big changes that Brooks fans will be the first to see in the stadium, coming up in a live interview. Plus, it's Shark Week at the Love and Living Planet Aquarium. Hear what they're doing this week to celebrate. And don't forget, staying informed never been easier. ABC4 News is there for you. For breaking and local live streaming news, just download the ABC4 News app. All you do is scan the QR code on your screen. But first, here's your first look at Good Morning America.
This morning's GMA First Look, COVID-19 surge. The new concerns for kids as the Delta variant spreads across the country. Some school districts are set to open as early as next week. In Arizona's Chandler Unified School District, school is back in session on Wednesday, and the state has made it illegal to mandate masks.
I think we'll have some students opting to wear masks, some not opting to wear masks, and I think that everybody will be very accepting.
For educator Katie Nash, who has 2 school-age children, one of whom is immunocompromised, it's not a choice.
We need to have a mask mandate back again. I am very nervous. My children will be wearing masks when they return.
Coming up on 7 a.m., more on what the coming school year might look like as vaccination rates lag in some parts of the U.S. and what you need to know with your GMA First Look. I'm Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Cesar Carnejo. Weather rate certified 10 years in a row.
All right, 6:42. Now time for your weather with meteorologist Cesar Cornejo. Cesar, how is it shaping up today? I know we're kind of recovering from all that rain last night down south.
Sarah, yes, definitely. We continue to see dry conditions so far right now, but the shower activity, the storms, that's not all fully done just yet, as we can expect a little bit. Some storms later on today. One thing we're also going to see besides that is that the flash flooding and the flooding concerns just in general start to lessen a bit for us as we start to see it just be more on the widespread, isolated style, just shower activity. And then we take a look at our drought update, see that it's not so good for us right now, and then taking a look at the weekend and seeing what else we can expect. So far right now, we're seeing plenty of smoky conditions. Up there we go. Unfortunately, the University of Utah camera had a little moment, still catching up and just waking up. Everyone is enjoying a beautiful sunrise so far right now, small thin clouds. But look at that, we still see a little bit of smoke hanging around in our atmosphere. And looking at our current fires and smoke map, seeing a little bit of just light smoke hanging around for a few of the Great Basin, but a lot of it still coming in and billowing in from parts of just the west. And looking at another spot that not only is continuing to see a little bit of haze, but also just clear conditions and drier conditions compared to overnight is St. George. Looking at the silhouette of the Red Rock right now through our Southern Utah University camera network, a much different picture compared to what we saw earlier in the morning and overnight hours. Continue to see that this small storm system continues to dry out as it no longer has that energy to help keep it going, but showers can still remain over parts of the Lake Powell area. But as we go into the afternoon hours, we'll see that the storms start to build up once again, and I'll have more of that in just a moment. But again, it's starting to die out slower, little by little now. And one thing we can expect to see is that we have a better chance for shower activities towards parts of the northern part of Utah, and again into southwest Wyoming even possible, with some dry thunderstorms that can elevate our fire just danger for us. Looking at the thunderstorm outlook so far right now, general threat for thunderstorms for a lot of the Great Basin, so that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're going outdoors. Lightning is possible. Don't want to be out there during a lightning storm as it could become deadly. Taking a look at our flash flood potential, we expect to see that it's less potential for us, so at the possible potential for a lot of our storms. But again, drought monitor looking pretty much similar numbers, but it's been minuscule increases here and there, and it continues in our worst areas, in such as the highest categories for us. Looking at Futurecast, we expect to see that we have shower activity really building in for the afternoon hours, and then by the time we get towards the evening, that's where we start to see some Wasatch Front action for us. And after that, we start to dry out going into the overnight hours, going into Saturday, spotty higher elevation showers. So if you're going outdoors, just keep that in mind. It could be possible you run into a stray shower here or there. And then we start to see moisture moving in for parts of southern Utah. Again, it's monsoon season. This is what we expect. As soon as that high starts to get situated and move over top of us, we expect to see more moisture for shower activity. Regional forecast around the 90s for today, and we'll see that temperatures around St. George will be close to the triple digits, but that's what we expect this time of year, around the low 100s. Wasatch Front will warm up for the weekend, drier once again, but we expect to see triple-digit heat also. Looking at traffic so far right now, it's pretty smooth sailing on most of our major interstates. Taking a look at everything so far, we don't see much in the way of any kind of slowdowns. But if you want to stay up to date on all of the news, weather, and of course, more traffic, turn over to the CW30 at 7 a.m. for more GMU. Over to you, Brian.
A huge concert is coming to Rice Eccles Stadium tomorrow in Salt Lake City, and when fans arrive, they'll see a big change in the stands. Country superstar Garth Brooks performing live right there at the University of Utah. This is one of the first major concerts coming back to our state, and it's the first time anyone will get a look at the U's newly renovated stadium. So joining us to explain what fans will see is Scott Cole, the Deputy Athletic Director of the External Operations for the University of Utah. I think the stadium counts as external, right?
Yes, sir.
Not a bad time to do a stadium facelift and everyone comes back with Garth Brooks in town.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. Garth Brooks fans are going to get the first look at the new Ken Garff Red Zone, which is just a fantastic new addition to the beautiful Rice Eccles Stadium.
So what are those changes you're mentioning with the Ken Garff Red Zone? What changes are happening to Rice Eccles?
Well, it's really all premium seating. You know, we're going to have some bleacher seating, but it's really going to enhance the premium experience to Rice-Eccles Stadium.
And I understand this is really a current look, so you have a shot of what it looks like today and then what it will look like when it's finally completed.
Yes, it's a fantastic new addition, and we only have 150 seats left to sell. So if you're interested in being a part of this new facility,
you can still have an opportunity.
You still have an opportunity to get in, and you don't want to miss it. Now,
it's been under construction for how long?
About a year. About
Okay.
a year. It's been a really tight timeline, but Layton Construction has just done a fantastic job.
And how much of it still has left to be finished?
Not much really, just a lot of finish work. So, you know, we've got our Welcome Back open house on August 21st from 6 to 8, so the general fan will be able to really see the ins and outs of the new expansion.
And so this is right there, as you're kind of seeing some of that area, right, where this is some of the first looks that fans will get at that experience you're mentioning.
Yes. Yep.
So in addition to Garth Brooks fans being able to sit in those seats or being able to look at those seats that are there, there's a whole other tour you're giving people later on, a few weeks from now.
Yes, they'll get to see, you know, everything, all of the club space, the locker rooms, where the team is going to travel out to the field. It's really going to be beautiful, and the general fan is just not going to want to miss this. And it's open to the public. It's going to be free. You're going to have a ticket, but it's really exciting.
And what does this mean now for Rice-Eccles when they're now hosting concerts like Garth Brooks coming into town?
Well, it makes it that much more attractive, you know, to bring in acts like that, and we're just so excited to have Garth Brooks come tomorrow night to Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better time, obviously, in Salt Lake. You can't have a better place. If you want to find out more information, not only about what's happening at Rice-Eccles Stadium, how do they get in touch with you guys at the U?
Well, certainly, if we have, you know, tickets available, so you can contact the Utah Athletics ticket office, or you can go to utahtickets.com, or you can just call 581-UTIX, and we've got seats available, so you don't want to miss out.
There you go. Of course, Scott Cull here from the University of Utah. Thanks for spending some time here with us here this morning, Scott.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, so fun. Moving to our coronavirus coverage, the Delta variant is causing surges of new cases in at least 45 states, prompting some areas to bring back mask mandates. And the general surgeon has issued his first advisory warning against conspiracy theories. ABC's Ike Ajachi has more.
This morning, Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy calling on social media companies and politicians to take a bigger responsibility in fighting widespread vaccine misinformation, calling it an urgent threat in the fight against the virus.
Every one of us has the power and the responsibility to make a difference in this fight. Lives are depending on it.
He says 2/3 of people who are not yet vaccinated believe common myths about vaccines. This morning, cases are rising quickly in 45 states. Now, 1,000 new cases every hour, with outbreaks popping up across the country. In Los Angeles, health officials are now requiring everyone to wear a mask indoors, including the fully vaccinated.
Masking indoors must again become a normal practice.
In Missouri, health officials there are asking for help as a COVID hospital in Springfield stretches thin. Even Major League Baseball pausing. The Yankees-Red Sox game canceled as several players on the Yankees enter COVID-19 protocol. Vaccination rates at a crawl, 548,000 shots per day. That's down 84% since mid-April, when 3.4 million shots were given each day. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky drawing a line between those who are falling sick the most and those not getting the shot.
People who are unvaccinated are more likely to get severe symptoms and end up in the hospital. And what we're seeing now is that children are now more likely to be unvaccinated.
A reality seen in Arizona, where some school districts are set to open next week. The state has made it illegal to mandate masks. Not everyone agrees.
And we need to have a mask mandate. I'm very nervous. My children will be wearing masks when they return.
And in Ohio, another large outbreak. 44 church groups are dealing with new cases stemming from a large retreat. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
Happening now, campfires are back at the Grand Canyon. The area got a good amount of rain recently, so Grand Canyon National Park has rolled back its Stage 2 fire restrictions, which banned all campfires. Now under Stage 1, campers can light fires in designated rings outside of the actual canyon. Campers in the inner canyon can use gas cook stoves, but cannot have campfires or other open flames below the rim.
And happening now, not far from the Grand Canyon, low water levels at Lake Powell are forcing the Park Service to get creative. Park staff are extending 2 boat ramps to make sure that people can still get to the water this summer. The first is in the Wami Marina, the second in the Bullfrog area. The Park Service says they picked those spots so boaters have at least one north and one south spot to access the lake.
Happening now, the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium diving into Shark Week with a family-friendly scavenger hunt. From now till Sunday, guests can search for 17 unique shark species at the aquarium. They say while learning all about those sharks, you'll see they get a bad rep. They're not the man-eating machines people make them out to be. You can hop on the aquarium social media accounts too to learn how they train the sharks. Pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Shark
if you...
training.
Yeah, right. Muster some courage. Go out there and check out the sharks.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't be a bad day because we expect to see some spotty showers possible for parts of the northern Utah. And as we take a look outside right now, we can expect to see in Cedar City Airport a much nicer sunrise. Not seeing much in the way of cloud cover, but again, we have that moisture hanging around with us, so that's something to keep in mind. As we look at satellite and radar, there are a few areas that still see some cloud cover, not much in the way of any showers as we continue going throughout the day. Much smoother conditions so far right now, a lot different, especially in St. George and parts of just southern Utah, where we saw some flash flood warnings overnight. We had a flash flood watch still in place. And again, take a look at that. Almost everyone in the Great Basin can continue to expect to see a storm here or there. It's going to be isolated in nature, but that still doesn't mean we have completely lessened all of our flash flooding concerns. And taking a look at what we can expect for today, a day where we straddle the line close to 100 degrees in Salt Lake City, breezy conditions. St. George will be at 103, so a lot closer towards what we normally are around this time of year, but we have muggy conditions, so it's definitely that air that you can wear. It will feel a little bit more like as if you're just in the, I want to say, thick of it. It's so far right now also seeing a few incidents on traffic. Not much else right now. There is that one accident still around Provo, but it is not on a major interstate. And looking at drive times between Salt Lake City and Ogden, right around 30 minutes for us, so we're smooth sailing there. Also looking at parts of I-215, the West Belt, not too bad, about 14-15 minutes for our drive time this morning here on Friday.
That sounds good. Thank you, Caesar. It's birthday time, and
if you want to,
there's more. Wait, there's more, Caesar. Wait, there's more.
If you want to download the weather app to make sure you're up on all of the happenings weather-wise, use the QR codes on the screen or through your app store.
Well, you got the weather app, you've got the news app to keep you up to date on all the things that are happening.
Gotta
One
get
of which,
Gotta
right?
get them all.
Birthdays, right? And we have a celebrity birthday today. Actor and comedian Will Ferrell turns 54 today.
54!
I think he'd
there he
appreciate
is.
the news app. You know, Anchorman.
Sure, right for the Channel 4 news team.
Yeah.
There it is. What could be better? So he's obviously played a number of roles. Our favorite here at Channel 4 is Anchorman.
Right.
But he's also played Sherlock Holmes, actually one of the worst movies he's ever done. Worst. This is absolute worst.
You know what? My favorite Will Ferrell movie has to be the Eurovision Song Contest. I know it's like out there for him, but it's so funny.
It was good. It was
hilarious.
A lot of people love it. A lot of people love it. So it's Will Ferrell's birthday today. Maybe wish him a happy birthday. But more importantly, is it your birthday? Or you share a birthday with Will Ferrell? Let us know. We want to talk about you right here on the air. Email your photos to news@abc4.com. You, your kids, your grandkids. Send us that photo and put in the subject line, baby birthday.
All right, before we head out, let's taco about tacos. The taco company wants to pay you $100,000 to eat tacos.
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 All right. Okay.
The spice company McCormick searching for a candidate to fill their newest position, Director of Taco Relations.
Oh, that's a great title.
It's a 4-month job. They literally want you to be prepared and ready to scour the world and the internet for taco themes, taco trends.
Ooh. And they're going to pay you $100,000?
$100,000.
Way to go.
6 figures for eating tacos.
What are we doing here this morning?
I know.
I'm applying.
Yeah, no kidding. We got to take a quick break, but thanks for making us part of your morning.
More local news coming up on Utah CW 30. Good Morning America is next right here.